Yo, 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 yup. Hello and welcome to episode 395 of the Center Ring Esports podcast. And this is going to be the best episode ever because we have a good old-fashioned clutch or kick game show to get to, as well as some e-news and just fun old esports gaming stuff, folks. But before we get to that, let me just get to the sponsor, and that, of course, is yours truly. It's your mother. Tell her thank you for sponsoring the show for these last handful of episodes. It's really been appreciated to Anuj and myself. So, again, just to all the mommies out there, thanks.
Hey, it's NBK, and you're here listening to the Center Ring.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. This is episode 395, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is July 27th, 2022. The time is 9:04 p.m. Central Time. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. Join the Discord. Be a part of that conversation. Come play games with us. Have a good time with the boys. If you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, whatever it is, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and leave a review. Yeah, we got 5 episodes left till we take a break. Regardless, you never know. Just leave it. Be nice. My name is Tim. I'll be your captain for this journey into esports. And alongside me, as always, it's my best friend. It's my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up?
Yo. I retaped my tennis stick today, Tim. I am...
Your tennis stick?
My tennis racket.
Racket?
Racket. I retaped it today.
Is it tennis racket? It is tennis.
It is a racket. Yeah,
Why does that...
racket?
Racket. That's a weird word.
Tennis stick sounds even more weird now that I said it out
tennis racket
loud.
sounds weird.
It's racket.
It is called a tennis.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess it's just I've always said racket, not tennis racket.
Combining our hockey lingo with now our tennis lingo. But got our time set for, we're going Friday now.
Nice.
And going in the middle of the day, so we'll see if
bad idea, but God bless.
Us,
Can I have your computer when you die of heat stroke? I
need to get a sweat in, man. Otherwise, this is all moot point for me. The whole thing is to get a workout out of this.
Listen, we've done such little, anything will be a sweat. You don't need
that is also true.
You don't need mid-daytime heat for the sweat. The sweat's coming. Don't worry about that. But
yeah, 2 hours set aside. We'll see if we make it 30 minutes.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to join you one of these days. It's got to be in the AM, probably.
We got to figure out something for this weekend if we want to do an activity.
I want to go shooting. I know that's not necessarily working out, but I do want to go shooting.
Yeah, no, I mean shooting would be good. Shooting, the only problem is we're not moving, so we're like sitting in the heat.
That's what I mean. It's very hot still.
Like it's like super hot, and they don't even open early enough to be like, let's avoid.
Well, 8 o'clock.
The sun.
That's still hot though here. Like, let's be real.
Yeah,
8
like
o'clock
97.
is still right. I'm waiting for those crisp fall mornings to go shooting. That would be
Give
the best.
me like September, October, November.
Right.
It's like those are the perfect months over here, and we're just in primetime gaming mode right now because this is like the only thing you can do in Texas during this time of year. It feels like.
Yeah.
Without taking the chance of heat stroke.
No. Yeah. No. It's not all bad.
Speaking of gaming, I have taken advantage of this leveling thing in WoW, like the 50% boost plus you get the 10% from like the war
thing going on,
whatever, like you just turn your war mode on or whatever. I've got my hunter to 50, got my lock to 50, and I got my shaman to 43. I'm just getting them all to 50.
See, and I got to get on. Maybe I'll get on tonight.
You know what? I'm not even like grinding. I just do the daily dungeon bonus, and that's getting me. I've leveled them to like 40 pretty quickly. That took like
that
literally
doesn't
a
take
couple
long.
of hours. It took like 5 hours of playtime, and then I've just been doing one dungeon on each of them a day, and that gets me a whole level. So if I do it from now till August 2nd,
Well,
I'll
you
have
only
all
have
these
till Tuesday,
characters
right?
to 50.
You have Tuesday. Oh yeah, is that August 2nd? Oh my
Yeah,
god,
August
that's
2nd,
August 2nd already.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, woo, that snuck up. Yeah, no, I'll at least I want to at least get. I can get my warrior and probably some of my other spare characters to 50. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the willpower to do Shadowlands questing again.
Either do I, and I'm just kind of hoping that there's some sort of bonus.
Like there's got to be there always is in like the pre-patch. There's always like catch-up feature where like even a blind man can get a guy to 60 in a day
like
or something.
Right? I'm hoping the last 10 like kind of get nerfed down a little bit, but
Like
they're not increasing the level cap for Dragonflight, I don't think.
No,
So,
but you know, it's there's always just seems like pre-patch. I remember, was it Legion, where our
you went to Darkshire and all that.
Yeah, where it was like I remember our buddy Brett, former host of the show, R.I.P. Never played WoW before, and I was like, dude, an expansion pack's coming out, get in it. It's gonna be a good time to get in because it's all fresh for a lot of people. And he started playing in the pre-patch, and it was almost like too much, like because you that's when like the invasions were right outside of Orgrimmar, and he's like, dude, what is going on? There's like shit going on everywhere all the time. And I'm like, yeah, maybe it wasn't
not really like that.
Yeah,
once
I'm like,
it starts.
And it's like we had the friend XP bonus because at the time, I mean, he leveled a max character. No joke, we did it in like 4 days because of just all the bonus XP that we were getting. And I was like,
and you could even have the gear back then too.
Well, and the issue is like then he didn't know anything about the game or his character. I'm like, yeah, I guess this kind of screwed you, huh? He didn't actually. Yeah, I felt like I screwed up because then he was like, oh, I don't like WoW, and I'm
you
like,
don't know how to play now,
right? I'm like, well, you don't like WoW because
WoW's overwhelming to anybody new, no matter when you start. There's like first of all a million buttons to. I've never seen a game have so many buttons that I need to memorize to press. Like there's 25 plus. I have 3 action bars full of.
You know what's the weird thing though with WoW is I have been using the same, and this is probably for any game. Like it's kind of this is the beautiful thing of PC gaming is I've been using the same WoW keybinds since I was like 14, and they all make perfect sense to me. But for other people, it would be like, why the fuck do you put this on that? Like, why do you?
WoW keybinds are like you can't go to somebody else's house and just go play.
No,
it's not that kind of game.
Even Counter-Strike's the same way. You know, it's like I have all my grenades in Counter-Strike bound to a different key, and everything's different. And so it's like if you jumped on my Counter-Strike, you'd be like, bro, how? I just want to pull out a smoke. How do I do that? I'm like, oh, that's Z. Don't you know? Like Z smoke.
We got the same thing.
Oh, there you go.
Got the same thing. No, I did play 2 games of CS with Tom yesterday, so that was fun.
There you go.
Been a while. Been a hot minute.
There you go. I'm sure he was calm, cool, and collected.
Surprisingly, it was only me and him that were calm, cool, and collected. We had one team that didn't. None of the other 3 spoke. I swear to God, until like round 9, and then they all spoke like within a round of each other. I'm like, where have you been? We've been asking the whole time.
Absolutely, Maddie. If maybe we can do this because we have 5 shows left. I guess really 4 after this one. So we need a plan for 4 shows. We need to do like our top, because I know we did like our top 5, like our Mount Rushmore of best feelings in esports and gaming. I don't think we ever did our worst feelings.
No, we didn't.
We need to do the worst feelings because playing with teammates that don't say a word the entire game, and then in like the last round you hear them make a call out, that should be on grounds for execution. And it's
like they're not even trolling. They just didn't like
they just didn't do it. Right. They're just like, whatever, man, I'm just
listen to music.
Yeah, it's like they don't say anything. You're making call outs, you're like, guys, you there, and then in the last round, right before you leave, they're like, good game. Like, bro, like I want to find where you live.
I will strangle you right now if I see you.
I'm going to go January 6th on your ass and invade your house because this is ridiculous. I don't know if that's a top 5 worst feeling, but it definitely, you want to see me easily get triggered in a game, that's how you easily get me triggered. Like, I'd rather you just not say anything than say one thing at the end of
fair
the
enough.
game.
I completely agree. I mean, that's what happened to us in one of our games. Like literally all three of them, they weren't even queued together because you can see that.
Right, at the end of the game.
They all just chose to talk at the very end.
That's brutal. I don't know why people. I don't even know the mindset of that. Like I wouldn't even want to play a competitive game.
Counter-Strike is like so bad without comms. Like, how could you even be enjoying your playing experience?
It's like people
they're relying on us. We're calling out stuff, but to not be involved, I don't know. Just
it's
weird
like
to me.
People who don't play with headphones, like, which I'm sure is like it's got to be 1% of the people playing video games at this point, because everyone
with like right and left speakers.
Yeah, but it's like you have to be using a headset, and then sometimes you're just like, no, I don't think this guy is. Like, he's just not listening whatsoever. Tough, man. That's just part of online gaming for you. Before we get into Clutch or Kick, because we don't get to talk a whole lot, because it's just, I've been working out, Nuge. If you haven't noticed, I haven't been online.
I can see it.
You see this muscle definition in my arm?
I do. It looks really good.
Yeah, thank you. I told someone at work today, like, I don't know why, but my arms have they just don't hold like body fat. And so, like, look at this. I don't know what this is, but look at that.
It's something.
I mean, I look like that right there makes it look like I got something going on. So, like I said, like, if you took a picture, if I sent a chick, like, from my nipple to like the bottom neck area, you would think I'm Chris Hemsworth. Like, just my shoulders just are defined. Like
the overweight Thor version, or the
rest of me looks like the overweight Thor version. But right now,
my gut likes to hold the weight. My gut and my tits would like to hold the weight.
Like you said, yeah. Like, if you just took my shoulders and just sent that to women, that would be my it's been so long since I had to worry about it. What's that dating app called? Tinder?
Your Tinder profile? Yeah.
My Tinder profile. Yeah, that's what I would.
We would have about the same success.
That would be my
doesn't matter.
That would be my profile pictures, just my shoulders, because for whatever reason, they work. So there's that. But what I was actually going to say is, we don't get to talk as much because I just, whatever, life. At the moment, I'm going to download Madden, because they have, I think, 20. We won't have like the brand spanking new one, but we do have it because we have Game Pass, the latest one.
Well, like, you're talking about Madden 23 or Madden 22?
This is 22, I think, is the one on Game Pass.
But isn't 23 the new one?
That's what I mean. So it's not going to be that one, because I don't want to spend $60 on it. I just got to get my Madden kick out before, because football's coming up. We're like, the team, like the Lions just arrived at training camp today, so I'm jacked, right? I got, I think, a week.
You're starting to see all the like Instagram videos and stuff.
It's that time of year. It really, I mean, esports needs an off season so we can have the hype for preseason. Like,
yeah, it's like the problem is like the amount of changes that are made during the season in esports. Like, no one is gonna wait till the off season to do like massive roster moves. You're gonna have,
but just the hype of like, hey, the boys are back. We're getting the training camp going. We're hitting the scrims or whatever.
Like, imagine for us if CS had like a 4-month downtime. That'd be pretty brutal. No?
Yeah, I mean,
you don't think that would suck? That would like really suck if we had, like even just 1 month of not having CS sucks, because like we've said it 100 times, we're on our way out here. We have 5 shows left. I'm only really watching the esports that I want to watch right now, and it's primarily been CS.
I guess we would just be like any other traditional sports, though, right? Like, where you kind of just,
the worst time of year is when baseball's the only.
That's what I mean, though. Like, think of it now for like traditional sports podcasts. Right now, you have absolutely nothing but baseball.
No, but that's not true. Like, right? Like, because the off seasons are so exciting for those sports. Like, in the sense of the NBA, Kevin Durant's on every channel you flip to right now. Like, what is he gonna do next? Are they trading Russell Westbrook in LA? Like, you have that.
Well, and I think after a while you would get that. Esports would have to adjust to how an off season works, you know? Like there would be a learning curve. I think early on, esports would just blow their load really early and get all this stuff done right away.
I think you'll see that like in Valorant coming up with with a franchising model, you can do that. With an open circuit model like CS, that's impossible.
Right? Yeah, I just think you would it wouldn't work.
But I think we'll see maybe something like that with I mean, Valorant's kind of dead half the year anyway right now, so I think they'll probably just do one long season and
right.
Maybe some sort of mid-season tournament.
Right. So my main reason is I'm just jacked for football because the hype is coming back. The Lions are Hard Knocks this year.
Are they really?
Yeah. I forgot about that until like a couple weeks ago.
They agreed to do it.
They asked for it. I'm ready. They said, pass me the fucking ball, coach.
Goff is still the starter, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
We got everything. Right. We got everything. This is Super Bowl year, guaranteed. So I'm ready to run through a brick wall. I'm ready to bite some kneecaps. So I'm going to play Madden. I'm downloading. It's Madden 22 because I just looked it up. 23 won't be coming to Game Pass day one. So I'm going to play 22.
23 actually looks pretty decent because they've done, like they said, they changed the game for the first time.
Yeah, I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
That is also very true.
I'll believe it when I see it. Still not going to pay for it, though, because only serial killers pay $60 for Madden nowadays. Like,
no, it's been over 10 years.
You got to be a 1%er if you're paying $60 for Madden. But I am going to take the Lions to the Super Bowl. So if you want to dick around on Madden, you can download it because you have it for free too. But
I might do it after Tuesday.
I get the itch.
Let my
I get that itch.
Little bonus experience expire because right now, if I have time to play, that's kind of what I'm hopping on.
Right.
But August 2nd, I'll be back to.
And Madden sucks that I normally only have the patience to play through one season before I want to like punch my monitor. So
even when I used to do seasons, it was more about all the stuff outside of the actual football that I was like enjoying doing, you know, like setting up the roster and all that stuff.
So
kind of get sucked into it. Now everything though on these, even the sports games, which is annoying, like FIFA and all that though, it's all about card packs and all that. Even on there.
I don't do.
It's like a different world than what we were used to growing up on the sports side.
Growing up on sports for us, it was all be a pro. And it sucks because I felt like the Be a Pro mode was getting better and better and better, or like the franchise, we're going off on a tangent now for sports games, which is fine. Esports, right?
This was going to be a short episode anyway, so this kind of works.
We can kill some time. The carryover franchise mode was next level back in the day, like to when you could carry over. Remember, you could carry over like your Be a Pro from NCAA into Madden. Yeah. Like, do you remember?
And like on NCAA, you had to upload your rosters like illegally to get the names. You know, like it's not like they had names in the game or anything like that.
Or you could carry over your franchise from like Madden. You know,
now it's all about like the card packs and getting it to build your like franchise.
And
team
I don't do that. And obviously that's their moneymaker because that's where their microtransactions are, and so that's what they focus on. Because as you can tell, like franchising and Be a Pro is just ass.
I mean, on FIFA it's huge. Huge.
Yeah, it's a huge market, but they've just gradually became worse and worse on every other aspect other than those. And if you like it, great. I never got into it. So
I don't plan on getting into it.
No. And like I said, I'll play Madden. I'm right now the hype is there, so I just got to catch lightning in the bottle while I can.
Did you ever download that Match Point tennis game?
I downloaded it, I played it, and it might still be installed. It might.
I did the tutorial. I haven't actually played a game.
It's tough. I thought it was kind of tough. I was overshooting everything.
It was like maybe we should just mess around on it one day.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Like two shitty players playing each other.
I was kind of disappointed with their customization for the Be a Pro, so
I didn't even look at it. Literally just did the 30-minute tutorial.
Yeah, no, I stood up Be a Pro. It's no top spin back in the day. It's no top spin. But either way, so that's it. I might actually stream some Madden too. If I'm playing through the Lions season, I'll stream it because that's an easy like, hey, I can set up the stream, play 2 games.
I'll play as the Cowboys when you get to that game.
There you go. Week it's the week after the bye.
Would it be the 22 season or the 23 season?
They update it. I think it would be 23 season.
Would it? Okay.
I think they still update, that carries over. I think. Right?
I trust you. I'm trusting you.
Gotta be.
What would be the point of buying the game if things updated though? Just for the new features.
Well, features and I think eventually they don't update it, but like for the sake of like just updating your season schedule, I would have to imagine
probably charge you $9.99.
Right. Wouldn't be surprised. So there's that. All right. Let's get into some Clutch or Kick again as we do the 2 episodes a week for the friendly reminders of those who weren't listeners back then. Yikes of the week on Monday. Those are one a week type of deal. Hence, yikes of the week, not yikes twice a week.
Now that you're saying it out loud, when you stream Madden, I'll always come in and play as the opposing team in your league.
So that's just us playing Madden with each other?
Yeah, but I'm always going to be playing.
You're always on the opposing?
Yeah, I'll be like whoever you're playing.
Okay.
The Bears twice.
I mean, we could do co-op Madden and just you could be like just control the wide receiver and we can just.
We used to do that crap all the time.
And then you would just break route every time for the easy catch. It was so.
Yeah, going on a fly route.
Looking back, it was so broken because like as you're controlling the receiver, it was so easy. But all right,
you could make like some cool. It was easy to make the catches.
Yeah, because you could just like okay now break right. It's like it's so perfect. You could time everything, but. Madden, back in the day. Good stuff.
Madden.
Good stuff. We used to do Madden tournaments at my house.
Mm-hmm. We used to have 2 TVs in our apartment.
We had to ban
Madden tournaments.
We had to ban Michael Vick.
That was my team all the time.
We did like 2 tournaments, and each time it was Michael Vick versus Michael Vick in the finals, and we were like, yeah, we're banning him. This is dumb.
I would take any fast black quarterback was always the team that I would use. It just if you banned him, I was gonna go find the team that Randall Cunningham was a backup on, make him my starter,
him your starter and go. Vince Young.
Yeah, that did not matter. That's all I needed.
No. All right, Clutch or Kick. Let's get to this. We have a couple topics here to get to. Clutch or Kick, an original idea, really. No other podcast out there does anything like it. It's where Anuj and I give you 3 headline stories, discuss them, and say whether or not we clutch or kick. Basically, if we're buying into it or if it's a joke. Clutch or Kick number 1. Shroud calls CSGO a joke compared to Valorant, saying it is much harder. As in Valorant is much harder than CSGO. Hence, CSGO is a joke. Clutch or Kick. I'll go first. You typed this in the pre-show chat. I was in mid-sentence when I saw you typing this in the document, and I seriously stopped down and felt like I was getting more like.
It felt like a little bit of betrayal.
Yeah, like it was kind of like, wow, okay. Ouch, like you could have just not said anything and it would have been fine, but no, you had to have been like the ex-lover who's telling people I got a small dick. Like, is it necessary? No. Like, could you just not let it go? I'm gonna kick this because I think Shroud and most people are maybe a little jaded. Not that they'll ever admit it, but I feel like they're a bit jaded over CS not working out the way they hoped. I would like to know why he thinks Valorant is harder, because most people think the shooting in Valorant is easier, especially if you go from like CSGO to Valorant. Like I feel like my headshots are always on point. Like it's getting a headshot in Valorant seems like it's a little bit more not easier, but a little bit more gracious. Well,
it's like the hitbox is a little bit bigger.
It's a little bigger, a little bit more forgiving. No, I could see why it's harder in the sense of like the meta. Right, the classes and picking up a team comp and knowing all this and counters, and I definitely could see why he thinks in that sense it is harder, because there's just not so much. You have to be more knowledgeable, but there's more to know, right? Like there's more that you got to study.
There's parts of the game of Valorant that are clearly more difficult than any other FPS, right?
Right.
Where Counter-Strike, I think, takes its pride in is spray patterns being very difficult, understanding the economy being a different part of the game in Counter-Strike, And then there's just like the movement in terms of like bunny hopping. Like there's really large skill gaps in some areas for CS. In Valorant, I think what makes that game so difficult is you have a continuous and you have a new agent every handful of months, right? That can clearly change the meta in terms of how the game is played.
Right.
Abilities naturally will make it more difficult because you're not just dealing with utility in the form of a grenade, a molly, a flashbang, a smoke. Now every agent has 3 to 5 abilities roughly depending on the agent, and they're all used in different ways. So you have to then know every agent placement on the map, what they're able to do. So like yes, there are aspects to Valorant that are more difficult, but I would not say that Valorant is a much harder game. Like for those that play it and know all the agents, that's not as difficult. As a new player, yes, that would be like infuriating. But I don't know. I mean, it just kind of triggered me that he said that. I think it is exactly what you said, that there is a little bit of spite towards Counter-Strike in terms of they have just moved on mentally. Like they don't care for the game anymore, and that's okay. It's just I hate that they don't look back fondly in their time of a game that like gave them everything. Obviously they contributed to get to that point and like be as good as they were, but then the game gave them like their stardom. You know, like Shroud took off because he signed with Cloud9. If Shroud had signed with Complexity or Evil Geniuses or at the time CLG, like he would be most likely fairly irrelevant today. A handful of people are able to make it, Tarek, being one of those exceptions, right? But like there should be some sense of pride. I feel like understanding where you came from. I think it's a little bit of like just spite or jaded, whatever, towards it, but there is some truth in it as well. Right. It's just I wouldn't say much harder, which is how he phrased it. I would
say
and they laughed about it. Did you see the clip?
No, I did not see the clip.
They were like laughing about it in the sense like it was not even a question that Valorant is like a much harder game. He was talking to somebody, I don't know who it was.
Like I would have to say that this is maybe 40% truth, 10% troll, and 50% jaded. Like it just to me this seems like a scorn lover at this point. Which
yeah,
it hurts. Like it hurts because I'm a Shroud fanboy, and to see him, like you said, kind of not. I don't understand why even on like I understand from a fan's perspective on why we would argue which one's better and which one's not, or whatever, which one's easier, which one's harder. I understand from a fan point because that's just what we do because we're dumb and that's what we argue. But from a pro's perspective, it's weird to me that he's just not like, hey, you know what? They're both difficult. They're both in their own way have their own challenges. Because again, for Shroud to be like, oh yeah, Valorant is much harder. Well then, bro, why don't you go back to Counter-Strike? Why don't you dip your toes back in that water?
It was like so easy.
Yeah, if it's so much easier.
It's boring now.
Hey, that's the schedule. Oh,
and we're also like in the same sense. We like Counter-Strike more, so
disclaimer, spoiler alert.
Like we like Counter-Strike more, so we're defending it, more so than we would.
But we can't admit that each game is more difficult in their own sense. But to say Counter-Strike is a joke compared to Valorant, I think that's ridiculous. And I would have the same opinion if someone said Valorant is a joke compared to Counter-Strike. I'd be like, well, no, there's definitely a preference between the two. And each of them have their own place, and esports is big enough to have both of them. I just don't know why we have to compare them.
Look, as a Counter-Strike fanboy, we're going to have our Ron Burgundy Anchorman moment here at some point because viewership is going to be king, right? Like that'll let you know what people like more, what they enjoy more, what they're watching. And Counter-Strike's pulling 1 million viewers for non-major events. So
where Counter-Strike will hurt in the end, and where I think Valorant will pull forward on that is Valorant has made more of a global footnote. I mean, there's just no argument when it comes to the Asian scene, Korean scene, all that. There's just...
I'm curious to see how long these scenes invest the way they are now once we go into franchising model and like are they teams outside of the franchise? Like, is there going to be a tier 2? Like, how I'm very curious to see. Like, yes, it will be more popular in the Asian countries for sure. But when we talk about Europe, I still think Counter-Strike is going to remain king.
Oh, in Europe,
right?
yeah, there's just no compare. I don't think you're ever going to knock off Counter-Strike in Europe. There's
no, and like Counter-Strike will eventually get a bump. Like, although their player base is still incredible, they will eventually get a bump, whether it's because of Source 2 or some sort of seasonal change that they do. Like, it'll have its moment again to compete for the casual fan. I think that's where they take.
And let's be real, for NA, we just need one team to be good, right? Whichever, like it's just matter. One team to be good, and we're gonna latch on to whatever game that's on.
Like, the personalities for NA are headed to Valorant, right? You're about to have Stewie over there. We have Tarek only exclusively playing Valorant. Obviously, Shroud, Tens, like the big name NA star power. You know, even Ethan and things like that. Like, these guys moving over, took a lot of the fan base from NA with them.
And I know I've even heard Tarek say it before, where it's like he's wanted to do what he does for Valorant for Counter-Strike. Valve just doesn't make it as easy as Riot. Like, Riot pretty much says, yeah, Tarek, do whatever you want. Watch the games, whatever. Do whatever. Like, Riot is smart
because
in that
like
sense.
Riot can do that. Counter-Strike, the TOs run it. Like, they are the ones that get the final say. It's not
that is true. Valve might not be able to.
Valve telling that, like, Tarek, no, you can't stream this. It's the TO saying, like, no, you can't do this.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So there's that. I think we both kicked it, right?
Like, kick the fact that it's much harder. It's not much harder. There are aspects of it. Right. I just think it's,
There's a little truth, but more false.
A little tongue-in-cheek with what he said.
Clutch or Kick, JKS signing with G2.
I love this. Absolutely love this. Now, this is all dependent on JKS from FaZe, or like JKS in his like final few months with Complexity. Like, which player are we getting? I'm going to assume we're getting a really motivated player. My concern is he hasn't played competitively in a while outside of that one stand-in event that he did for FaZe. That was a while ago. Like, that wasn't that was recent.
February.
Yeah, okay, so that's like a long time in Counter-Strike terms. We talked about that 3-month ban for Valorant players like just last week, and we're saying, like, man, 3 months, like that's a long time. He's gone almost 6 months without playing in a competitive match, and then even prior to that, he was on the bench for Complexity for a while. So it's been upwards of a year since he's like consistently been playing CS. So I like the move. I'm excited for the move, I should say. I'm waiting to see who they announce as their new IGL, with Alexi B being shopped around still.
Is that who's he replacing? JKS.
He is replacing Jax is who he's going to be replacing. And so Alexi B is still being shopped. Their coach is still being shopped, I believe, as well. So that's going to make or break this part of the move. Like, who are you bringing in to kind of lead the charge and set the tone? But JKS to me is a great pickup. I think his personality will mesh well. I don't necessarily believe that he has an ego. I don't know him, so I'm going off of just interviews and stuff, content that I've seen with him in it. I don't get I feel like he brings a good positive vibe to the team, especially with a team like G2 that can compete. The last time we saw them with Complexity, that was kind of bad for everyone. Like, mentally, in-game.
It's tough to judge anyone on Complexity, to be honest with you. Like, you're right. Everything they did all the right things and all the right signings, just none of it worked.
They couldn't put it together, and they had all the right names, everything.
And everyone was excited about that team.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think the only thing that was sad about that team is that it wasn't going to be an NA team. It was going to be like an EU team. But with that being said, like, it just, I can't hold that too much against him. I feel like he's going to be a good addition to this team. Hopefully, bring a positive mindset and They get a good IGL. They have the talent, dude. This team is stacked. Like JKS, Monesi, Nico, like they have a core that is lethal. And so you got to find this last piece, but I'm clutching this move as a good overall signing for G2.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I like it. We mentioned last week or last episode that G2 needed to make a move, right? I think you even said that they were one of the ones that you really felt like they were going to make an early move, and this is that. And look, I think that was a good, for the most part, free agent pickup. I know he's inactive on the bench, but for the sake of the conversation, he's a free agent because he was never going back on the starting roster. I do wonder
what they paid for him because they weren't really bidding. Like, it's not like there was a big bidding war for JKS. He's been available for a long time, so I'm curious.
Right, and I think it was Jason Lake that mentioned it a couple months ago that it's not even that the price was high. Like, no one was calling on
Yeah,
him.
he said no one's calling.
Right,
and so that's why
it's not even...
like, giving that information out, albeit I love the transparency, probably hurts your leverage to some extent.
It wasn't like, he's a great player and no one wants to meet his value. It's no one's calling, which is a little weird.
We spoke out on that twice because it was also after the FaZe stand-in. Everybody was like, oh, JKS is going to get on a team immediately. And he's like, phone's not ringing. He's available. Buyout price is like not high. Give us a call. So, Carlos and these guys are one step ahead of the game. They really are. They make good changes. They do what they feel is best for the team, whether they work out or don't. I always respect what they're able to do. And this is another signing that, like, your fan base is not going to hate. It's a likable
Everyone
player.
loves JKS the person from what I've seen. So it's an awesome pickup. Fun fact. So, JKS, as you mentioned, his last professional play was when he filled in for FaZe Clan at Katowice, where FaZe ended up winning first, which is, again, one of the shockers that it's taken so long for him to...
And he was great in that event.
It was in the finals. They had the crazy overtime, 31-27, where FaZe swept. Do you know the team FaZe swept in the finals at Katowice?
Heroic?
G2. So it's all come full circle.
Oh.
FaZe did, to your credit, FaZe swept Heroic in the semis. But they swept G2 in the finals. So it all comes full circle. It's just taken 5 months to get there.
Okay, here we are. Just took a couple more chokes from G2.
A little bit more chokes and a little bit more burning of the hole in Complexity's wallet for JKS just to be sitting on the bench. Last clutcher kick here. We've talked a little bit about this in the past. I know you and I have wanted to talk about it more recently, just haven't had the time. But now that we're doing 2 episodes, we kind of have the love. I forgot that when we did 2 episodes, we always did that. Where it was like Wednesday was more of a discussion show. I miss it. I like the 2 episodes a week. I know we stopped it. We stopped doing it because of time, which is still true. But I really do, and I feel like
I feel exhausted right now, though, in terms of just where I'm at in life.
But
I like the fact that it's not.
The show got me hyped. Seeing your face got me hyped. Seeing the boys in chat got me hyped, and I'm ready to talk esports. But before
it's
we
not
went
like
live,
talking just about the events now,
right? We get to talk, which I love.
About some of the stories, not all e-news.
But before we went live and hit record, if you asked if I wanted to take a nap, I would have taken you up on the offer.
My eyes feel a little heavy right now.
Right, that's just getting old, I guess. That's getting old, but I do love it. So we wanted to talk about this. Richard Lewis just posted an article about it on Dextero. If you still support them, go for it. But the general concept was talking about Blast, and a lot of companies, ESL, esports in general, making deals, signing up for events with the Saudi government. And of course, this is drawing complaints and controversy because obviously Saudi Arabia is not the nicest of countries, ran by a mad prince who will cut your head off if you disagree with him. If you're gay, if you're a woman, if you're anything he doesn't agree with, you're pretty much dead. We've seen a lot of these orgs. Blast is the one kind of getting blasted, no pun intended, right now for it, because they are hosting it's one of their big events there. And this is bad because they've remember a couple years ago they like signed a
The
partnership
Neon deal.
Yeah, they signed a partnership with them. Everyone got pissed, and then they backed out saying, you know what, guys, we're not going to break our integrity, not going to do it. Fast forward to now, and they're like, you know what, for that paycheck though, I think we're okay. So Clutch or Kick, Blast and others within esports are signing deals with the Saudis. I'll go first on this one. Anuj, I'm going to keep it real with you. And it might not be the most popular opinion. And depending on the day and time you ask me, I might be more upset about this than others. But at this moment in time, at 9:42 p.m. on the 27th of July, where we just said that we're ready to take a nap and go to bed, I'm going to say Clutch. Because at this point in life, maybe I'm just a beaten down boomer. What am I going to do? What can we do here? All right, we got Live Tour. Like, it's not just esports, right? We got the Live Tour with where, if you pay attention, in normal sports with golf, and they're signing a bunch of pros over, and people are upset with them, saying they're not going to support. You know, with Blast, you got ESL, who is now owned by them pretty much. Or in Counter-Strike, you got ESL, who's owned by them. Blast is signing events with them. They're going to do more with them. We've seen events there in the past. I understand the human rights situation, and I understand it's absolutely terrible. I also understand it's sink or swim in this business, and the only thing keeping you afloat is the almighty dollar, and guess who has a lot of that? The Saudis. So you either get that or you get nothing, and so I get it. I might not like it, but I get it.
It's like you read my notes for this Clutch or Kick. Seriously, you said the exact things that were on my mind. It is not the popular opinion. I'm aware of that, okay? I totally clutched this move by Blast. The reason being is for exactly what you said. What golf is doing with Live, you are seeing active pro players that are supposed to be heroes, you would put them on pedestals, whatever, right? Like, they are the upper echelon of the elite talent, right? We're talking Bryson DeChambeau. The biggest names from golf outside of Tiger have taken Saudi money and flipped over to Live. And sure, they got beat up a little bit, but they still have the other half of the fan base being like, dude, you're getting offered $70 million up front, $50 million up front. Phil Mickelson's money. Getting $150 million up front. Like, they will never make that on the PGA Tour. Like, they just won't. And look, they're saying, oh, we did it to get freedom in our schedule, and we didn't want to have to travel as much. And yeah, it's all lies. It's all for the money. And I get it. If you told me, Tim, that TCR or whatever, if we were professional players, like, the Prince of Saudi is knocking at my door with $10 million to buy the rights to our show, which that deal is available to you.
Absolutely.
If you're interested.
Absolutely. We got
I'm
5
taking
episodes
it
left.
in a heartbeat. I will take it in a heartbeat. I will shut my mouth to the human rights violations, and I would understand that I don't like what's happening.
Right.
But you're running a business and you're seeing it happen in traditional sports. Like, so why shouldn't esports?
I won't agree with you publicly. Right. I won't support it, but I also am not going to trash your name through the mud. Right. Like, here and this is part
you're seeing it everywhere else.
And this is part of my issue with this too. Is people are like, how can people do this? Blah blah blah. Go ahead and do whatever you like, right? Like, pick things that you like, whether they be bands and their music labels, or politicians, or whatever you're into, sports teams, whatever. Your favorite food. Pick your favorite food. I can almost guarantee you, if you follow the money, you're gonna have a bad time. You're not gonna like what you find when you keep pulling on that little thread and getting a little further and further into their ownership history and who they've worked with and who they currently work with and where they work and things. You're gonna have a bad time.
Like, if you want to help the causes that obviously you don't agree with what they're doing, you could still do charitable work donate to different funds, whatever. You can still do your part, but not have to bash Saudi publicly. Like, again, this is like game-changing money that we're talking about here. Blast is not doing this for $5,000 from the Saudi prince. Like, oh, let's go ahead and take the sponsor. It's millions.
Maybe this is being stupidly optimistic, but maybe having more Western culture in Saudi Arabia might help the situation, right? Who knows? Maybe not with this current prince, but maybe for a young one growing up, about to be the leader one day, and he's watching Counter-Strike and these guys playing, and and he realizes, like, wait, these guys aren't talking about killing gay people and hating people for who they are, and I'll look them up, and let me look it up, and oh shit, these guys actually support gay rights and things like that, and well, I like them, and maybe that's not so bad. Like, maybe that's maybe
you could find some silver lining, is what you're saying, right? Like, maybe there's something positive that can come out of this in terms of educating their culture a little bit about acceptance. But I think it's all about acceptance easy. At the end of the day.
I think it's very easy for all of us to stick our nose up and be like, oh, I can't believe you took that money from this company. Bro, if someone offered you $110 million or whatever to do your current job that you're doing now, you're a liar if you're saying you're not taking it. You're an absolute really are. Like, liar.
I just have a hard time believing it.
Especially if you have like a family with kids and you're looking at setting them up for life. You know what? No. I'll keep working my job for $100,000. Thank you very much. I have integrity. No one has that much integrity. I don't care who you are. Like, if
you do, it's because you're already rich.
Yeah, right.
You already have $110 million in the bank.
It's because you already have a trust fund from your racist ancestors who probably own slaves. So congratulations on that blood money.
Tiger Woods didn't take the live deal, even though it's rumored that they offered him over $500 million, right, to like come.
Right.
But it's like Tiger's worth $1 billion, so him turning it down and keeping his name out of the mud in this case is like a little different than them coming to Tim's doorstep and being like, Tim, would you like $100 million, or would you like to like keep your integrity? What would you do? It's like, it's obvious what you would do. I know what you would do in a heartbeat.
I
would expect a little.
I would look him dead in the eye and say, "You guys are morons. I would have done this for half the cost. Thank you very much." Look, I know we're laughing about it, and I know some people are like, "Wow, you guys are assholes," or being insensitive. I totally get the unpopular opinion about it, but I also, looking at this from a more realistic standpoint and not an emotional standpoint, and yes, it sucks, and yeah, I wish everything was rainbows and sunshine, but at the same time, like, I don't see what other option these guys have, right? Like, you're not going to get this money elsewhere.
The backlash will be relatively short-lived. Again, like, the fact that the transition is happening so easily in golf, and it's like the biggest names moving over, it just shows that these guys have publicists, they have PR people all around them, like, they're being advised.
Yeah.
And clearly these people are not discouraging them that much from doing it. It's like, hey, yeah, no, financially this is probably going to set you up for life. You know, like, this is a good deal for you, your family, and your like next 8 generations of kids in your family. Like, you should probably take the money. You're okay.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, yes, it sucks.
It's not ideal.
No.
Okay, but this is unfortunately the hand that was dealt, and like, these companies need to stay afloat. If you want to do better, offer them more money from an American company.
Now, I think where I would draw the line is if all of a sudden we start seeing Blast commercials that are like paid by the Saudi government being like, hey, what's the deal with these gay people? Like, that's
gays are bad.
That's where I'd be like,
yeah, like,
yo,
okay,
Blast.
Now maybe we got to talk about this again and revisit this conversation.
Back it up. Like, again, take the money, sell your integrity a little bit, but then also just shut up about their side of the story.
Yeah. Like, don't go pro-tweeting all of a sudden here. That's not what we're looking for either, you know?
Yeah, like, still keep your thoughts and ideas, but take the money. It's fine. You got our approval. If that means anything, I don't know. But there you have it. There is your 3 clutch or kick topics short show. I mean, I guess it's really not that short. It's kind of normal when we're doing two shows a week.
We bullshitted about enough other stuff.
Yeah. E-news. Let's get to that. Boomage. Actually, hold on. This is the first one here. We have to talk about this. We can't just.
I was excited about this one.
We can't just do this on E-news.
Yeah.
Last clutch or kick. Clutch or kick. Boomage starts his career as a rapper and wants to.
That's not even the one I thought you were gonna do. I thought you were gonna go to the next one.
Well, that one also too, but this one I want to play the audio. It's just so perfect. Boomage, former Na'Vi, really just a supporter of love. That's what he's guilty of, is loving. Boomage starts his career as a rapper and wants to still join a Counter-Strike roster, specifically in EU. I'm going to say clutch on all of it. In fact, I think there's a better chance his rap career takes off before he joins a roster. But that's just my opinion. Before you say your opinion, Anuj, let me just sample size some of his rap.
Я чувствую твой перегар. Походу тебе очень хорошо. Нажми на плей. Я сохранил ту ночь, чтобы ты не забывала, какой день провела со мной. Не хотел здесь оставить тебя день. Я думала теперь мысли своих заставляют раздеть. Верь мне, в темноте все в моих руках. Ты играешь близко, и я выбиваю быстро мой яд. Лови мои искры, сияй, сияй, сияй.
So obviously that wasn't English.
Hey, that's fire. Okay, let's not hate too. It's better than I would do. So that's with Boomage, it's a weird situation.
He's such his life has taken so many left turns recently.
Yeah, this is just another one to add to it. I'm rooting for the Boomage comeback.
I want to see Little Boom on tour. That's all I want. I want to see Little Boom on tour. So I'm gonna
clutch his career taking a turn for the better is what I'm gonna just do in this. I'm rooting for Boomage to, I don't know. He wasn't advocating pro-Russian stuff, right? That was just his wife.
It was his wife, who is now clearly a scammer. He has done what so many other typically Westerners have done. He just fell for a Russian love scam. That's it. That's what he's guilty of. You see it all the time. But Boomage, little Boomage. I love you, but everyone in your friend circle was if it's like,
is he actually going by Little Boomage?
I don't know.
Or is that what you're calling him?
I'm calling him Little Boom.
Because it'd be super ironic if that was like his actual rapper name.
A blind man could have looked at that relationship and been like, "Yeah, bro, like this is scam. Something's wrong here." But I really hope he joins an EU team. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, as long as he's like keeping his mouth shut on the pro-Russian stuff, and
I'm just worried if he signs with a team, it will hurt his rap career. So
he's got time to focus on both.
I hope it's just not a monkey paw situation here. So there's that. And next clutch or kick, which is also part of the CSE news. Peacemaker is set to depart Imperial, so he can add to his enormous jersey collection. Clutch or kick. At this point, this is what I'm clutching, because I do think that's his purpose in the game right now. He does not care about Counter-Strike. He doesn't care about coaching. He just wants free merch from as many teams as he can get.
And he's going to be G2's coach tomorrow. It's lined up so perfectly at this point. Leaving Imperial, headed to G2. It's amazing to me. He must be brilliant in interviews as somebody that's in IT consulting, staffing industry. Peacemaker is the dream candidate, because this man lands any job that he seems to go for.
Not just tier 2.
No, he gets them all with big teams. He had stayed in tier 1 CS for 7 years for 36 different teams. It is absolutely incredible. And look, I mean, he's helped in some of the places that he's gone. He's just not managed to like stay. And so, he's a fight or flight kind of person. When things start to get tough, he's on to the next project, and this is another example that I don't know how many opportunities he will continue to get.
I love this Peacemaker stat on his Liquipedia page. So obviously his CS is ridiculous, right? But his there's no way maybe this is real. His approximate total winnings, now this is obviously being pulled from being a player, not a coach, $113.
There you go.
Like, I don't know why that's more money than I've ever made being a professional Counter-Strike player. Probably just about as much money as I made being a professional Rainbow Six player back in the day when I was a professional player for Rainbow Six 1 and 2. Don't know if you know that. But I guess the one thing he has on me is I did not coach for 15 different teams.
That's incredible. I mean, I'm looking at the list of teams too, and it's like just a lot of massive orgs in there. And
I wonder, what are the chances that we can get him on the show in the next 4 episodes?
I mean, he's going to be interviewing for 14 teams over the next 3 weeks here. Maybe it's incredible. I mean, I can't believe that.
What if we disguise that we are a new upcoming team, and so we can like interview him, but be like on the show and just figure out. Look, he either is the best interviewer ever, or he has Jeffrey Epstein level dirt on the community.
On CSGO in general.
There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, I just really want to see. He's got to have a cool jersey collection, right? If you're him, you probably have the framed jerseys across the wall. Like that would be at least kind of cool from that side of it.
Yeah, I mean his free merch has to be unreal.
Insane. I mean, unreal. And it's like worldwide, and Counter-Strike's not even really a global esport, but he's managed to coach in China, EU, Brazil, or like South America, North America. Like
he has coached on every continent,
like everywhere. Yeah,
I mean, he's really a world traveler.
He's like more global than the game itself. It's actually kind of incredible.
Spain, he coached for Mad Lions. It's a team from Spain. Maybe the only team he may be missing, like a CIS team.
Yeah, Denmark. He's got
CIS. So that's what he needs to do. He needs to coach CIS, and then he would literally have coached in every continent. So
good for him.
Incredible, awesome. All right,
he's recession proof.
No one can touch him.
No one can touch him.
All right, looking at other e-news. And COD, the Veli news. I know we said we were going to talk on Veli news today. We're going to push that maybe to even next Wednesday. If you watched his stream,
if you haven't.
I've never seen so much information and such little said. Basically, to sum it up, the Dexerto article was kind of a trash piece. It was I guess not 100% real. According to him, he said, no, that's not really what happened. And according to other sources and people there, that's not really what happened. So I believe them in that sense. But he basically said, no, what ended up happening was I was talking to this guy who he's my good buddy. We're like brothers. So we were getting kind of into it, but not like in a mad way, but in like a brother friendly way. Yeah. This dude came up, thought I was getting into it, put his hands on me, threatened me, and then I resigned. And that was the end of the story, pretty much. We know no names. We don't know who the other caster was that put his hands on him. We don't even, like, it's such little information and still to me makes zero sense. Like, I have a hard, and I don't want to be a dick, but I have a hard time feeling bad for Veli when it's like, so some dude puts his hands on you, you felt unsafe, and then you just said at that very moment, I quit my job.
Yeah,
that seems very ass backwards to me.
So here's the problem. My level of care has diminished as each day goes by. So if they want to keep this relevant, which it's unfortunate that this is even more hype than like COD Champs is getting in terms of publicity right now, like you release the info sooner rather than later, because my level of care is all like by next Wednesday. You say we'll probably talk about it. It'll probably still just be an e-news update. This is not going to take over.
At the end of the day, it was a desk host resigning, right? I don't want to
like that's what. No, but that's all it was. That's exactly what it was. Like it's not like that big of a deal. Like the big deals were like Maven and Merc not coming back. You know,
right.
or
I thought like there was like a big fight. I was like ready for the drama, and now you're bringing it with like, no, he just touched me and threatened me, so I quit. Very weird.
Bring that other the girl back, Lottie.
Yeah.
Snakebite's girlfriend, fiance.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I thought she was leaving for COD or Halo at the time, but then Halo died. She probably regrets the move now that I think about it. But yeah, no, she's like Snakebite's fiance.
I didn't know that. Interesting. In FPS news, speaking of Halo, FaZe did their made a little roster shuffle, signing Renegades from Cloud9 and Spartan. So 2 very big signings. That's a very
United, right?
Yeah, very big. Was it United? Let me look.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right.
What I'm more shocked about this announcement was to still see
Snipe Down. Bingo.
Remain on the roster.
That is honestly the more breaking news, because I thought he was like 2 feet out the door at one point. Like he said that he was going back to Apex, but
I mean, FaZe probably paying him pretty decent to keep him as part of the org or something.
It's just
it doesn't make sense that he would still stay, considering
he's been vocal about how
state
unhappy
of
he is.
both games. Like Apex is like still trending in such a positive direction. So
yeah.
And like Apex is going to get a massive bump in viewership, just like Valorant's about to get it with Shroud. Apex is about to get it with Nick Merckx. So,
right.
You know, adding firepower like Snipe to that would also help. But I don't think his appeal in Halo matters as much, because the Halo community is not bringing in new people to watch. It's the Halo fans that love Snipe Down that are still watching Snipe Down. You know?
Yeah, that I mean, it was all contingent. Like had Infinite came off good, then it would have been huge. But yeah, you're right. Like it's just
like the people that are watching Snipe Down are the ones that were Snipe Down fans 5 years ago. Also, you know?
So there's that. In League news, it's reportedly that Misfits are selling their LEC slot to Team Heretics. I've seen some rumors that maybe this means that Misfits is going to look at buying an LCS spot to go more NA, since they are an NA-based org based out of Florida.
It's like rumored they're selling it for like what, 40 to 50 million. They're saying
something ridiculous.
That's insane. Didn't they just buy it for like 15 million or something?
I have no idea, but pretty good. I gotta imagine that's a pretty good markup. The yikes here is apparently not everyone knew about this in the org, and we're starting to see more and more people from the org be like, what?
But like who's supposed to know about it other than the people that are like own the org?
Well, I guess like people who were like on the team, like running with the team. You would think you would at least be given a heads up before, like, not that the papers were signed. They're saying they found out about it via the tweet. Like, that's a little shitty. Like,
I mean, it's not their place to like. I mean, I get it. Yes, out of respect, they should have like had a conversation.
You would expect a call from your boss saying, "Yo, we're about to make this announcement. The paperwork signed. You were selling the spot to Heretics." I would expect that's like bare minimum in sports.
Yeah, look, I agree. It's just with esports, things get leaked so fast, and it's like, but again, on a deal this size,
it was like the official.
I would be overly cautious to let that information leak out, especially if like Riot's like, hey, like let's get the deal done before it comes out. Like, that stuff can happen. It's just,
I guess for me, it's just shit leaks. You would want to at least let people know, but
yeah,
whatever.
You're on a need to know basis. Now they know,
right? In other news, GTA 6 news today. We'll let you play as a male or female character with, I think it's based in Miami, or a Miami-esque town.
It's supposed to be like Vice City-ish again,
right, with
multiple cities being added over time this time, instead of like just expanding the storyline, like expanding the world.
Right. Which, that's That should be common sense at this point. I guess I never thought about it, but yeah, like for how long they keep a GTA alive for, and I'm excited for it. Like I love GTA. It's just I played GTA 5 10 years ago. So I'm excited for GTA 6. It's definitely a pickup. But yeah, I'm kind of like, that will be more intriguing where it's like, oh shit, we're getting like a whole new city now with expansion packs rather than...
Dr. Dre on his TikTok today, like was talking, they were talking about something else, but during the conversation, he was like, oh yeah, I was just recording for the GTA music. And I was like, oh, okay. You're going to be bumping like Dre and Vice City. Like, that's kind of cool. You know, everyone's just looking forward to the next GTA. Even if you know you're not going to play it long term, it's a game you get in and like play and just have a little bit of fun with. Yeah. It's one of those.
No doubt. No doubt. So there you have it. There is e-news. And again, we'll be back Monday doing some Yikes of the Week, other stuff. So there's that. But that will do it for episode 395 of the Center Ring Esports Podcast, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. We'll be back Monday night doing episode 396. So tell your friends, tell your loved ones, be there, be square. Again, if you're listening on iTunes or anything like that, Spotify, go ahead and leave a like, leave 5 stars, leave a review. We appreciate it. Join the Discord, follow us on Twitter at The Centering, all that fun stuff. And that's it. I always do this too, since we are kind of running low on shows. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about, you know, even like an AMA, send us questions. We'll do them. At this point, we're pretty much winging it. So let us know if you have anything for us to talk about. We'll do it. Ask us anything. We'll save it for maybe episode 400 and do a big AMA. We'll see. But that's it. So again, thank you so much for listening, whether you skipped around, listening to the whole darn thing. Love you all the same. For Anuj, I'm Tim. Love your face. See ya. All right, everyone in chat, thank you for stopping by.
God bless. God bless. Hey, you already bought the Epic Edition for WoW, right?
Yeah.
Did you like already get all this stuff?
I believe so, yeah. Like the mount and all that.
Yeah, I guess the character boost was really the main thing.
I'll log in here, but I'm 99% sure I have it. It's just waiting there. All right, boys. I'm going to kill the whatever it's called, stream, so I can get to editing. Wolf, thanks for stopping by. Canada, thanks for stopping by. Everyone else, thank you. We'll be back on
Monday.
I am going to download Madden and play. I don't know when. We'll figure that out. But I just want to play some. So, all right.